Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another technical analysis video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Vechain's VET token with what's been going on most recently, reviewing the price patterns, the price structures, and sharing my kind of short to medium and maybe even long-term price predictions for Vechain. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, welcome, subscribe, and stay up to date with all the content that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Let's jump right down into today's video. So we're going to be kicking things off here with Vechain paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart, and we've got some interesting structures here for Vechain. Obviously, we've seen a great move to the downside. Okay, this kind of started off with completing our 5-wave pattern here. Okay, we completed this up on the 28th of February, and since then we have been on a bit of a move to the downside. Originally, we were looking at this 63.35% move to the downside as a WXY X and Z, WX, Y, X and Z. However, this move to the upside actually is a little bit better than expected and therefore is actually more of a reversal than anything else. So we're going to go ahead and review what's going on with this right here. So this move from the low that we had on the 5th of July up to where we are, where we got to, I should say on the 15th of July, that 10-day kind of range there was a 67.96% move to the upside. At the moment, we are finding resistance on the 200-day exponential moving average, the white line coming through the charts here. However, I do not think that this is going to hold for all that much longer, and we're going to basically rally on through and rally a little bit higher here for Vechain's price action. Now, if I take this down to the 1 hour time frame, and I'm going to do this just so that we can be clear about what is actually indicating this reversal in the market for Vechain. So here we can see that we have a very big impulsive move to the upside coming in here. This is a 53535 structure with what looks to be a diagonal at the end. We then have a very typical 3-wave correction right in here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, a little bit deep there. Put it into the right spot right there. Okay, so a 3-wave correction to the downside, and then another series of fantastic runs to the upside, which do not look like they are anywhere near complete just yet. Okay, so on the hourly chart, that allows us to understand what's actually going on within this little move and this reversal from the 5th of July. Okay, this means that we are still in the wave 3. Okay, and I think we are likely to rally up significantly higher before we kind of finish off this entire 5-wave pattern. But let me show you on the daily time frame here. We have the wave 1, the wave 2, which is a 3-wave correction, and all of this is the wave 3, which I don't think is finished just yet. We'll then have a little wave 4 correction before rallying up into this area of resistance. Okay, so we'll be looking for a complete 5-wave pattern like this, a 53535, potentially ending diagonal or contracting or expanding diagonal. We don't know how the 5th wave is going to go. A little bit complicated to see how that plays out at this stage, but nonetheless, where we are at the moment is tracking, I believe, a 5th wave within the 3rd wave before we get into the wave 4, which means a rally higher than the 200-day exponential moving average. Okay, now we are finding support on the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, the yellow and blue lines coming through the chart here, and of course it's worth noting, of course, that the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA is lower than the 200 EMA, which is less than ideal. Whilst the price action is still lower than the 200 EMA, a lot of people will still be bearish on Vechain's price action until we get a closed position above. If we do get a closed daily candle above the 200-day EMA, then that is going to be a place where we could potentially go long with a really tight stop loss and target out some of those resistances. We could get a good 2.0 risk reward ratio. And of course, if I am to be trading, leverage trading on Vechain, then I'm going to be doing that on the BitGet platform or the Blowfin platform. Both of these are my kind of go-to exchanges at the moment when it comes to leverage-based tradings. If you haven't yet signed up to either of those, there are links in the description below. There's various different sign-up bonuses depending on various different terms and conditions and jurisdictions as to where you are around the world and all that kind of usual stuff. For more details, do click the links and follow onto their website, and you'll find all the details you need there. But as I said, these are my go-to platforms. I find them very easy to use, so if I am leverage trading, that's where I'm doing it. Once we complete this 5-wave pattern, once we hit that pocket of resistance, my expectations are a retracement into a wave 2, which if I zoom out, guys, you can note that this entire 69% move to the downside, this one right here, 63% move to the downside was a wave 2. Okay, that wave 2 went into a typical retracement range between 1.560 and 2.698. Okay, that is the range that we were kind of typically looking for. Now, it's possible, of course, that this move to the upside is just a relief rally of the wave 2. Okay, it might not be that we start this wave 3 just yet, and I'll show you what that might look like. So here we could complete a zigzag pattern rallying us up higher. Okay, and that's all a part of a much bigger play where we see a WXY like so, okay, meaning that we might actually be looking later in the year before we actually kind of finish off the wave 2 correction. It's too early to know for certain as to whether or not this is a great reversal from a wave 2 low, but it is looking pretty promising at this stage. So I'm not going to be too bearish. I do think that this is still going to be rallying up significantly higher, even if it is only an ABC structure, meaning that we hit those areas of resistance. Like so. So let me find this, where we hit that area of resistance, we retrace down, we rally up again, we hit another area of resistance. It's possible that if this plays out like so, that we actually then just move on down in a more bearish way into these lows around 1.5. We can't rule that out until we actually rally up higher than the previous swing high at a 5.5 cent. If we can do that, then we're looking pretty good. But let's talk about some resistances, because we're here. We should also take a look at the smart money concepts. Smart money concepts is basically tracking institutional money flowing in and out of projects. And I say institutional money, we really just mean large buy and sell orders, right? Now here you can see on the chart, we have equilibrium, which also happens to coincide with that pocket of resistance right up here as well as this red area as well. Okay, so our pocket of resistance based on support and resistance zones, this comes in at 3.807 to 3.950. Equilibrium is coming in at 3.68 to a high range of 3.852. Then we have this red area, which is your selling pressure, coming in at 3.51 to a high range of 3.721. Okay, so all three of these are resistances, and basically price action is looking to tap into them. So we're going to be coming up into these resistances and then potentially getting rejected and coming down quite aggressively, probably back down towards 2.75 to a potential low of around 2.38. Okay, so there's going to be some interesting times ahead when it comes to Vechain's price action. Now, from smart money concepts point of view, we are still in a bearish structure according to the patterns here on the daily time frame, but on the larger time frame, on the smaller time frame, such as the kind of 8-hour time frame, for example, we can see that things are looking a little bit more bullish, right? So we're not too concerned at the moment, but again, while this still holds, we should be concerned around the idea that Vechain is still in a bearish structure overall. Elliott wave theory tells us that we've still got a good run here, a good rally to the upside, so we're not terribly too concerned, but like I say, it could just be a 3-wave correction, a B wave of a much deeper wave 2 correction at a later date. So volatility is going to be the game here, one of the things that we can trade in and out of quite aggressively, so we'll keep a close eye on all of that. From our stochastic RSIs, you can see that we're overbought on the daily time frame, but not on the 4-hour, and so the smaller time frames still show us with progression to the upside. But like I say, when we complete the 5-wave moves and we hit those pockets of resistances, we are likely to see a big collapse in the price action of Vechain, and it's going to be another opportunity to dollar cost average, build those positions at these low prices ahead of the next run to the upside. If we take a look at the divergence indicator, you can see that we're approaching the overbought area on the RSI. Again, we look at this very aggressively. We had the bullish divergence that we could see on the 4th of July. We all know what happened on the 5th of July. Great reversals in Vechain's price action, and we're going to be looking to see whether or not we do have much more room to the upside on the smaller time frames. We'll tap into those higher ranges in price where we are talking about potentially 3.5 to 4 cents, somewhere in that range. I think is likely to be where we end up before we get into the resistance that basically drags the price down. Momentum is going to give us that little bit extra boost, but after that, I think we're going to see big reversals in the market. Take a look at the volumes. You can really see the differences here. As prices rallied up since the 5th, the volumes have been decreasing. You can see that right inside there. Price has gone up, volumes have decreased. Again, that kind of divergence shows that this is not necessarily a lot of, there isn't a huge appetite, I should say, for pushing the price higher when it comes to Vechain, but it's definitely an interesting play to keep a close eye on overall. But ultimately, I'm long, a long-term kind of visionary when it comes to Vechain, and I do see this progressing very well. We are going to be looking for 20.337 as an impulsive breakout for week wave 3, which will then take us up into that range between 31 and 77 cents to finish off a big structural point, where we then potentially might even look at another further run to the upside at a later date. But ultimately, I don't think we can rule out the idea of a significant run where we might eventually get to that $1 threshold for Vechain's price action. You guys can, of course, let me know all your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments down below. Do you think Vechain has the potential to get to $1, or maybe you think 50 to 70 cents is more realistic? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have found today's video useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, give Chris's channel a view and check out some of the content he's creating over there. Some real good insights into what is going on across various different altcoins.